I have made a simple mitered box here. This is Spanish mahogany, and what I'm planning on doing is flocking the inside, and this is just post glue up. If you want to see the process of me making a box like this, comment on this video and let me know, and I will do a video specifically on this box. But there are a lot of other people who've done this box before, so I decided to skip over the detailed video. But what I am going to do is, I have this piece of, and I suspect it is ironwood, that I've glued up for the lid. It's obviously bigger than it needs to be, but each individual piece was too small. And I'm going to do something different I have never done before. Hopefully I don't mess it up terribly. So once this glue is dry, I'll sand this down and finish it and begin the decoration of it. So I have sanded it to 320, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the grain. I found that raising the grain makes the final sanding even smoother and glass-like. So just painting some water on to all the flat surfaces. I'm not going to do the inside, obviously, because it's too late. I can't sand it anymore. Plus, I'm planning on flocking the inside. So all I'm doing here is going to raise the flat surfaces. And then let the water dry. When I get back to it, it will be rough again. I am going to do this surface here. And then, even though I plan on doing something special with this piece here, that's going to basically make it no longer one single flat surface, I'm going to raise the grain on this as well. Yeah, I'll just let it set for half an hour to an hour, and then I will resand at 320. Flocking is the next step I'm going to make in this project, and it's rather simple, and it really makes a really nice effect. The inside of the box will be covered in a velvety consistency, and it looks rather regal, well done, and it's easy to do. So what you're going to need to have is your flocking undercoat adhesive. You want it to match the color of the flock material you're using. You're going to want a flocking flocker. This is a mini flocking flocker. Obviously your box, and what you want to do is tape off where you do not want the flocking material to stick, because when you paint this on, you'll have a tendency to overshoot a little bit. You want your flock, and you want a container to do this project in. So the first step is going to be to paint this on. Certain woods you have to treat the wood, others you do not. In this particular case, it's going to go straight on, and we'll mix this and apply it with the regular brush. And then once it's applied, I'm going to put it into this bucket. It's going to get kind of hard to watch, and we'll put some of the flocking flock into the flocker and flock it. So here we go. All right, this is 10 fingers from the future, And when I recorded me flocking the box, I made a mistake and I left the camera on time lapse. And I had some really good discussion on how I did it. So I didn't notice until the film editing, and I decided I'm going to do a little bit of discussion on the flocking process. This is a flocker, and basically it's just a cardboard tube, and it's got holes on one end. So what you do is you add your flocking material into the inside tube, and then you put it together. And by pulling it out, pull it together, pulling in adds air to the inside, and pushing it together pushes out. So by holding it like this, you're going to have the flocking material in the bottom portion here. So you do this and you can blow out the flock. Now, what it's also going to do, because of the size of these holes, it's going to sort of align the fibers in a similar direction. It's not going to, the fibers aren't going to come out like this, they're going to come out like this. Okay, so what you want to do is when you're flocking, is you're going to move the flocker in such a way to do different angles. That way it increases the chance that the flock itself touches the adhesive. And you want to get as good of a coverage as possible. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to put way more flocking than you're going to end up needing in the surface that you're going to add this to. And at later date, you're going to knock out the loose. So you're going to do it at all sorts of angles. You're going to go like this, and then like that, and then like that. And you're just going to go all over the place, and you're just going to do it until you've pretty much run out of all the flock that you've added to this device. It's a system, it's super simple, and it works very well. I'm very pleased with the way a box looks like with a flocked interior. I don't always do it. So the reason why you flock in a box like this is that all this overspray can be used again. So now I just let it dry. I have taped off the edges of this because I only want to do this texturing in the center. And I have loaded into my Dremel a ball nose bit, a ball tip bit. And the idea is that I'm just going to make a series of holes in a semi-random pattern, relatively close to each other, and hopefully not totally screw this whole piece up. I'm not sure I'm in total love with this, but it's an interesting effect. We'll see how it's received. Alright, I have added some wax, and now I'm going to buff it out after a 20-minute wait using a buffing wheel on my drill press. Probably ought to lower this a little bit. There we go. And that looks pretty good. All right, it's the next day, and the flocking has dried. So now it's just knocking out the loose flocking. And what we do here is we just tab it out to a certain extent. And then like that. So If you want, you can also use a little bit of compressed air to get any remaining flocking out. Or you can also use a paintbrush and just go ahead and wipe out whatever's loose. You're not going to get much out, really, honestly, once you've knocked it like that. And then all this can be reused. So we'll put that back in the bag in just a moment. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this tape, because why the heck not, right? And now you can see why you put the tape there. Look, a nice, clean edge. Nice, clean edge here. And a little gut underneath. So what we'll do is we'll clean that up with a chisel. But for the meantime, with the little finishing on the box, it is done. I'm liking it. The flocking came out very nice, I think. But we have just a couple spots where the adhesive snuck underneath tape. And that'll happen on occasion. But it really does make a nice look for the box. Have that inside lined like that. It's like a velvety thing. I choose black so you can't really see anything. As a whole, I think the box looks great. But we can do better. I like this design here along the top. I think that came out really nice. But I think I want to do the same thing. And I'm going to do a little strip along the bottom here. And basically do the same thing along the bottom to bring this box to this top. I think that would look cool. So let me go ahead and set that up. Now what the blue tape really does is it makes a nice way to very clearly see where your limits are. And this doesn't have to be precise because the way I'm doing this, the way I'm doing it is, in the end, it's going to be, it's not going to come right up to the edge anyway. So this is just a guide. So this is going to be a gift, this box here, for my brother. It was his neighbor who had the tree cut down, Spanish mahogany, and he was wanting something made out of that tree. I made some bowls for the owner of the tree and ended up giving them to her, and he was sort of wanting something made out of that tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this to him. When I did the lid, I just put the bit on my Dremel tool, and I also have this wand that attaches to my Dremel tool that is easier to hold. I haven't used it for a while. I used to use it a lot, actually, when I did more Dremel work. So what I'm going to do is do that. And here is the band that I created. I showed that already. And the trick is going to be trying to keep the same kind of pattern that I did on the lid. And this is a different wood, so we'll see how this works. Wow, that's looking nice. I'm liking this. And then it still does match the top, so I think that's going to look good in the end. I put some wax on the box, and now what I'm going to do is use this buffing wheel, and I'm going to buff off the wax for so it's not so wet. And then it's done. I think it looks really nice. Have you ever created anything that just came out so good that you're absolutely in love with it? This top with this design on it came out very well. It's a brand new effort for me. And the design being as a band around the bottom as well. I don't think that's showing up too well, but there you go. Looks fantastic. I absolutely love how this box came out. Without a doubt, this is a success. Good. Finally, after every woodworking project, you should always count your fingers. You end with 10. Good job.